Hello everyone, I'd like to first apologize for my tardiness. Parking around here, as you may or may not know, is lame. Anyways, before I proceed, I'd first like to start off with a quote. Marc Jacobs once said, "I love fashion. Nobody forces me to do this and nobody forces anyone to buy it. It's a real love affair." Taking this into account, I'd like to share a quick personal account. I was a freshman in college, walking up to my calculus lab, and I sat down at the computer, took my water out, took my sunglasses off, which were my first pair of Marc Jacobs sunglasses. I was absolutely in love with them. Set them down, after an hour and a half goes by, you're doing all this math, you kind of tend to forget things. I walked out of the class, made my way to the car. I was driving home on I-35, stuck in traffic as always, and the sun is getting in my face. I was like, man, where are my glasses? Reach into my bag, where I could usually keep them on the side, and felt nothing, and I was like, oh my God, my heart stops, and I'm looking at my bag, and there's cars honking, and I probably should move up at this point, but this is obviously my priority at this point. I'm digging through my bag, I'm like, please God, let them be here, and they're gone. So what do? I take the first exit I can, make my way back up to the room, sit at the computer, look everywhere, and they're just gone. And I really can't blame anyone for taking them. I mean, they're a really nice pair of glasses, but I really think this solidifies what Marc Jacobs said, being a love affair. I really did feel my heart break when I realized that I had lost those glasses. So, the point of today, I really want to capitalize on this love affair. You guys being CEO and board members of Macy's, I feel like a collaboration with Marc Jacobs could really benefit your company, and not only that, benefit Marc Jacobs, our company, as well. Before I go on, let me introduce myself. My name is Riley Patterson. As you may assume, I am a representative for Marc Jacobs. And I really hope we can get some good thought out of today's presentation. First of all, I'd like to go into the history and growth. Marc Jacobs released his first collection under the Marc Jacobs label in 1986. He founded his company with his partner Robert Duffy, both graduates of Parsons School of Design in New York. He did receive the most prestigious award of fashion, from this first collection, the New Fashion Talent, that really opened the doors for his collection in grunge wear. It was in the 90s, kind of grunge stuff, and it did receive a little bit of heavy critique, but he obviously overcame it. As his company grew, in 1994, it marked the first release of his menswear collection. Breaking out of a shell of strictly women's fashion and going into there. In 1997, he was appointed the creative director of Louis Vuitton. Obviously, that's a huge brand name, and it was really interesting because he is an American designer, going over overseas, kind of branching the two as a segue. And then Marc by Marc Jacobs, which is his off-brand, more low-key items, was launched in 2001. Before we go on into your competitors and stuff, I'd really like to focus on the main points here, which is collaboration. You guys have a $26 billion market annually. I found this from LexisNexis. Did extensive research on y'all's company. Marc Jacobs, $3.5 million annually. I know obviously there's a huge difference, and you're thinking, what? You're this big company, but when you think about realistically the amount of stores that you guys have, the amount of products that are put out in your stores, I'd really like to focus on how many stores Marc Jacobs might have. Are his products really selling in certain areas, certain regions? And this is why I feel partnering with you guys for the amount of locations you guys have, and also your target audience would really help both of us out. Going on to the target audience, your stores provide an expansive collection of products to all different types of people, whereas going on to your competitors, which we'll talk about later, Saks, is really that high-end thing. Your target audience is everyone, the general population, and something at Marc Jacobs, which is why he branched off into this Marc by Marc Jacobs kind of lesser value stuff, and equally sturdy, if you want to say, would be something to really hit upon. And then also your advertising. You guys have the Macy's Thanksgiving parade. Marc Jacobs, right here you can see an ad. Very recognizable things. Why not take these recognizable things in today's culture, kind of put them together and see what it can do for us? It tends to make sense. Your competition, Saks Fifth Avenue, and you may be thinking, why not Neiman Marcus or JCPenney's, another department store? Macy's, although does try to hit on this, global kind of atmosphere, environment, consumer, also does really like to amp up the fact that they do have high-end products. Saks Fifth Avenue obviously does have high-end products, but that's really all they have. You know, and so it kind of gives you an edge here. You know, you have diversity in your consumers, and why not, you know, take these people that are buying, you know, Kim Kardashian collection and say, like, you know, introduce them to a pair of Marc Jacobs sunglasses, for instance. You know, why wear these when you can wear these? That kind of thing. Saks Fifth Avenue, you know, you have top dollar consumers, stuff that they can afford all the time, you know. And then your brand name. Obviously, your brand name is huge. What I was saying earlier, you're recognized. You know, and so why don't you want to be recognized for bigger, better things? And I feel like, you know, collaborating with Marc Jacobs can really help keep you guys on top as you are the #1 department store. How did I click on this? Just give me 1 second. Oh no. Okay. Oh. Anyways. And you know, and then going on into the conclusion of today's presentation, I'd like to really hit on, you know, the benefits of this. You're going to get an introduction of an even more expansive market of products for your consumers. You're going to increase the diversity in your stores. You're already on top for diversity, and you do have all these products, as I was saying earlier, but why not, you know, play up to your advantages and keep that up there? It's really setting you guys apart, as you know, you are #1.
How do we be more diverse?
Give me just 1 sec, I'll get right there. You know, and then lastly, you know, the third benefit, the product really does speak for itself. I had a job in high school in my early years of college. You know, I worked at Chewy's, which was based out of Austin. And one of the things that really helped Chewy's was we didn't have any advertising apart from, you know, a parade or something like you guys have. All we had were shirts, and, you know, people were starting to buy these shirts, and they go like, oh, what is that? Like, what's Chewy's? And I'm like, oh, it's this cool restaurant, you know, go check it out. It's the product speaking for itself, you know. Why not sit down at a meeting and say, wow, that's really nice glass, where'd you get it? And you can go, oh, I got it at Macy's, it's Marc Jacobs, you know, and really spread the word that way, word of mouth. You know, additionally, I really hope that you guys take away a lot from today's presentation. Furthermore, you know, being a sales representative for Marc Jacobs, I have a close personal relationship with him, which is really interesting about the company in itself, is that everyone's very open and friendly to each other. You know, he gave me permission that if you guys do decide to, you know, increase the amount of Marc Jacobs products you have in your stores, we will cut down the transportation costs for moving these products to your stores in half, you know, effective immediately. All it takes is a phone call and a signature. In addition, any new collections that do come out from Marc Jacobs, which, you know, he's currently working on some for the Fashion Week coming up, you guys will have, you know, first call at getting these items into your stores, which is a real advantage over, you know, your competitors, Saks, Neiman Marcus, JCPenney, Dillard's. Anywhere we decide to push these products out, you guys are going to get first call, you know, apart from Marc Jacobs stores, you know, solely Marc Jacobs. But as far as retail consumers go, you guys will get the first pick. Shortly, you know, I'd like to give you some time to think about this. However, time is of the essence. I will be passing out some flyers and contracts. If I could get a quick signature, even if you have questions, love to help you out. And I hope you guys did enjoy my presentation. And once again, thank you for your time.